Hey, I just want to talk to all you guys about the upcoming ski retreat, a little more detail that we had in the last meeting that we had. And those of you who couldn't make it, well, this is just the information we went over, pretty much finalized now. Few things. Number one is the first payment is due this Sunday night. Please remember that. Please finish up your payments. Let's try to get it all in by Sunday night this week at youth 5 to 7. And secondly, I want to mention to you, if you can join our text group, it's a Remind text group. If you're familiar with that, if not, you can talk to me about that. I can tell you about it for sure. But basically, what you need to do, and this is all the information I'm giving you, is in the email that I just sent out. But I just wanted to give it to you word of mouth too to clarify some things. The first thing is to text at the @ number 6D8KGD. Text that little group right there to 81010. And like I said, that's in the email. You can go just copy and paste that. Make sure you include the @ in that. But if you can do that for me as parents and get your students to please do that for me too as they come home this evening, that'd be awesome. Let's go ahead and get everybody in there as soon as possible. That way we can give information out. We can tell everybody where we're at, when we're leaving, And as parents, you can kind of know what's going on even as you're not there and things we need to talk about maybe before we go, that sort of thing. So please join that ski retreat text group for the Ski Retreat 2018. I think that's what it's titled. And that's how you do that. You can see that once again in the email. Okay, so I just want to briefly go over the itinerary next quickly here, kind of finalized now, a lot more detail to it, and I just want you to be able to read over that and see that. A few bullet points I want to hit is basically we're going to leave at 8 a.m., so make sure your students are there 7:30, 7:45, eat before they come. If they're not there by 8:10, 8:15, we're going to be heading out, even if though we love you with or without you, so make sure they're there. After that, we'll be heading up there. Then when we get there, I'm asking that you bring with your students a sack lunch, like something like that, a Lunchable or something equivalent to what they'd bring to a school lunch. And as soon as we get to the cabin, they can eat that. It saves you some money, saves us some time. So please make sure you do that. Send the sack lunch with them. Make sure they eat before they come. Then that night, 99% chance, this may not happen, but we're believing that we're going to go to the Laserport Fun Center, and it's just 15 minutes up the road. We're going to go play laser tag and have a good time and all that. That is included in your trip price. So we're going to eat the pizza that night and go do that. If that doesn't work out, then we will just eat pizza in our cabin. But we're believing to probably do that. Come back, do some campfire worship. Make sure your students know that we are going to have some worship times. It's not just going to be all about skiing this weekend, although it will be a lot of fun. We're going to have to go to bed fairly early for most students, 11 o'clock that night, because we got to get up at 6 a.m. to make it to the ski resort on time. And you can once again look through that. Then your students, where they'll need money, not included in the trip price, is that day when we're skiing. We'll be up there on the mountain. There's kind of a mall area with a fast food court type thing. It's a little bit more overpriced, but that will be where they'll need to buy their own lunch outside of the pocket of money that we have. And then secondly, for dinner that night, we're going to go to Zaxby's at 8 p.m. and they'll need money for that as well. And that's neither of those are included in your trip price there. So make sure they're well aware of that. One thing I am willing to do is, because then, we'll go back to the cabin at night, and the next morning we leave, and then we'll eat lunch on the way home too. So your students really need 3 meals. None of them should be crazy expensive, but they should need a little money for that. They're also probably going to want some money at the arcade, at, different places in Gatlinburg, that sort of thing. To clarify a few things, we'll never have any students without leaders. We'll never have any students, without groups and without a leader of 18 years old or older with them, within just a few seconds of wherever they're at. And that being said, so I just want you to know all that and make sure, that you bring some money with them. Make sure they know that. And if you want to give us an envelope when we first get there of like maybe $10 or $15, so in case your student spends all their money, which we've had happen in the past, and the last day comes, they don't have any money, and we're kind of looking at them like, oh, I want to kill you, even though we still love you. But so if you want to give us maybe an envelope with $10, $15 in it with their name on it, we'll keep all those secure till Monday. And if they run out, and just maybe don't even tell them you're doing that. And then if they do run out, we'll hand them that Monday and give them that for lunch. So if you can do that, that'd be awesome. But that's kind of the itinerary. Look it over. Send me any questions you may have. But I just wanted to clarify those few things. Make sure they bring a sack lunch. Make sure they eat before they come. You got some money spending and for them to eat those few meals with. Another big thing is when we're skiing, I mentioned this last time, but they're either going to want something like a ski bib or something equivalent to that, something that is basically made to ski in. A big jacket, something like this, or sweatpants really won't cut it because that snow will get in there and just drive them nuts. So they either are going to want something you're going to buy, or the ski resort, and a few parents mentioned this to me, they have stuff you can rent. And I think it's about $25 to rent it, but you have to put like a down payment. So I think it's like $100, and then if they, give it back safely without it messing up, then they get half the money back, and I think it comes out to $50 or $25. And you can look the exact details up online. I know it's first come, first serve, so I would hate for somebody to get up there and them run out of that and then not have a chance to do it, although they did tell me that they didn't even run out at Christmas time, which is their busiest month. So if you want to bank on that, you can look up those prices online. I may be able to tell you if you email me, but basically that, you're either going to want them to have some kind of official ski gear with them, or they're going to want to rent it up there, and you're definitely going to want to have some pretty good money for that because it's a little expensive. So know that, and they're going to want to do that up front. Please make sure you see all the forms that I have attached here. There's one for old camp. Even if you filled one out in the past, please do that again. And on that form, a very important thing, and I'm asking that you please get this done by Sunday, because there's kind of a reason to that, is that you make sure you check if your student is skiing or not skiing. If your student's not skiing and just coming on the trip in general, that saves them a lot of money. If your student's coming and wanting to tube, to just go tubing is $30. To go skiing is $125 total before you rent the stuff to actually ski in or wear when you're skiing. But the skis and the lift ticket and all this stuff like that, that is $125 to ski, and it's $30 just a snow tube. So make sure you mark that on your box for me inside of that form, and then know that if your student's tubing and not skiing, then I know that up front, and that saves you close to $100, $90. And it's only a 2-hour time for them to snow tube. But please do know, either one, if you tell me they're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and mark it in, and we're going to put it in. And at that point, there's not be no refunds. But if you don't do it now, they may not get a chance to do it, because you have to book this stuff in advance for the snow tubing and whatnot. So please do that and let me know as soon as possible. Even if you could text me if you can't get that form in by Sunday night, which Sunday night, or would definitely when we need these forms in. And there's that form. Then there's also the form of them, either if they're skiing, one to fill out for the Ober-Gatlinburg place, or if they're snow tubing, one to fill out for them as well. That's all attached here at the bottom. They're all in one big document. So please look at that. Please make sure you do that by Sunday night, as well as getting the money in that you need to finish up as well. Stuff your students need to bring with them. A list of stuff would be something to ski with: ski bib, gloves, ski attire, that sort of thing. Or if they're renting it, know that up front, and the money to do that. Some spending money for food and attractions, like we've mentioned. Tell them to bring their Bibles and some journals. I really like to have a journal with them. $1 one from Dollar Tree is fine, but something for them just to write in and take some notes of what we're doing during the devotional time, small groups, that sort of thing. Toiletries, toothbrushes, obviously, shampoo, that sort of thing. Towels, bring those with them. As far as I'm aware, the bed comforter and all that is included, with the beds. It's all furnished, but I think they're going to need some towels and that sort of thing, so make sure they have that. Plenty of heavy clothing. It'll be cold. That sack lunch, whenever they're coming that day, and make sure they eat before they come. If you want to give us that $15 envelope, feel free to do that. And one other thing I'm asking is that everybody bring some kind of snack with them. Bring your own snacks for their students. Give them some candy, whatever they want for them in their room. But if you could everybody just bring like one bag of Doritos or one thing of Little Debbie's with you for the whole cabin to share. If everybody brings one, we'll have a bunch of snacks for the week for everybody to share together there. So if you could bring one thing like that too, that'd be awesome. And just kind of your normal camp stuff. Make sure they have plenty of clothes, that sort of thing, and light packing as much as possible. I know it's a good bit of stuff. It's only a 2.5 day trip, not even barely 2 days. So please make sure you get that light packed, and we have like one bag per person would be awesome. Last thing I want to mention is the worship songs. If you go ahead and have your students look up Give Me Faith by Elevation Worship and Build My Life by House Fires, tell them to listen to those, put them on their iPhone, have it playing, while their sports games and when they're coming back and forth from school and whatnot. So that way they kind of know the words to the songs before we get there around the campfire, and they don't have the lyrics in front of them. That'd be awesome. They're going to be kind of our theme songs of the weekend. So tell them to definitely, look those up and have those ready as well. That's pretty much all I got. Feel free to email me. Please definitely make sure you get all this, as much as we can done Sunday night, the money, the forms, everything else. I need to know as soon as possible to book and get some things going. We have just a couple of spots left if you know anybody else who wants to go. Other than that, look forward to seeing all you guys Sunday night and next Saturday at 8 a.m. Thanks.